what happened next? Like what happened to get you over the hump and to where you are today?
Okay, so I love that question. And brother, I didn't even know you're dyslexic, so we're going to geek out about that in a few seconds as well. But in regards to that, definitely the way we just kind of explained it here with the aspect of the time that we have together on this podcast is definitely embellished in regards to I give you the highlight reel. But if anybody that's an entrepreneur who has started anything knows that it takes time to build something, it takes years. Like just take you back in my real estate career, it took me a year and a half before I could actually like really be sustainable as a real estate broker. Like the first year and a half, I was literally paying to be a broker. The same thing with the speaking career. Once that moment happened, and to be even more honest, like I'd mentioned, I'd hired my coach maybe 2 weeks before that specific speech. And that speech was actually in French because I'm from Montreal and my coach is actually from Vancouver. He doesn't speak a lick of French. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he actually watched that speech 20 minutes. And he told me afterwards, he's like, Chris, he's like, you hired me to make you a top tier real estate broker. He's like, that's not what we're going to do. He's like, you're meant to be a world-class speaker. I'm like, what are you talking about, Trevor? I'm like, can you even make a career out of this? He's like, yeah, not only are you going to make a career, he's like, you're going to be one of the best ones. So from that moment on, I felt what I felt when I was on that stage, but I didn't know anything about the speaking world. And I was in a different career and I was quite succeeding. So then I started really going and just believing my gut. I'm like, hey, let me dive into this aspect. Everybody around me thought I was crazy. The real estate brokers around me, the owner of the office, like, what are you doing? You're one of my young superstars. You're going to make so much money. You're sure you're going into this? And the honest truth was, I wasn't sure, but I had this gut feeling knowing that this is what's calling me towards that. So I did a transition. And granted, I did at this point, I was in my late 20s, so 27, 28-ish. And I'd built something for 5+ years in real estate. And now I'm going to build something new. And I knew as an entrepreneur, it's going to take me a little while to build this. So I went all in. At that point, I was single, no kids, none of that, still am. But I knew that that was the moment I needed to do it. So I kind of ripped off the Band-Aid quite quick. So I dove into being a full-time speaker. 6 months later, I stopped completely brokerage. Every time somebody called me for that, I was referring to somebody else. And the first year of being a speaker and a coach, all I did is I studied the industry in and out. I was living off of my savings. And the reason why is because I tried to figure out, who am I as a speaker? Am I just going to talk about dyslexia? Am I a high performance speaker? Where do I fit in the niche of the world of speakers? What do other speakers say? I studied it in and out so much. Looked at the top speakers. I looked at other industries to correlate storytelling from actors to comedians to politicians, and I geeked out about it. And that brought me at the end of 2019. So this is 2019 was that whole year. 2020 started doing quite actually sorry that was 2018, my apologies. 2019 started succeeding in it, started getting coaching clients, and then 2020 hit, COVID and all that stuff. And I had 50% of my business which is like, speaking on stages, and 50% was coaching. And I had to completely shift towards, hey, let me go into more coaching because I already on a platform on Zoom and I was already utilizing the online space. So I started building my team in that regards. But it takes time. You have to be aware of that. And the only thing, this is one thing I could highly present, like just highlight. The only reason you're going to succeed as an entrepreneur is being relentless and not giving up, because that's what real success is. And the only reason you could continue being relentless on something is remembering why you started. The only reason I didn't quit and go back to real estate or do any other means that I knew how to make money in so many other ways is because I knew that this was my true purpose, why the universe put me on this planet for. So as I went towards that, just kept going at it, opportunities came and I was ready to receive those opportunities. So that's kind of like the short version of how I went through that process. But I went into it knowing that it was going to take time, and I dove 2 feet in and I was just all in. I put all the chips in the middle.
Are you looking to scale your business, but trying to figure out how to get your message across? Well, go to storyselling.how to grab my free course that will show you how to discover everything that you need to build your business through stories. These stories work whether it's in social media, email, or public speaking. There are 5 core stories that you'll learn. You'll be able to use all of them by the time you're done with this course. Again, that is storyselling.how. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to tune in next time.